I'm answering one of my most favorite questions today. One of the most common questions I'm answering today. And what's up, everybody? Chef Marcus Giuliano here, and Barolo. Say hi, Barolo. Barolo, my trusted border collie, is with me in the office. It's early in the morning, getting ready to go to the gym. So what is one of my most common questions that I'm asked? That is, how much money do you make? How much money do restaurants make? How much money can I make in the restaurant industry? And it comes from a lot of people that typically don't have experience in the restaurant industry. Because if you did have a lot of experience in the restaurant industry, you would know there's just no way to predict that, right? There's way too many variables, like the size of your restaurant, the volume of your restaurant, your overhead, all sorts of things, determine how much money you can make. Now, the real question is, are you going to make money? Are you going to make any money at all? Is the real question. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, um, don't make money. They lose money. They bleed. They hemorrhage money, and they don't know how to stop it. And it goes on and on and on, and it sucks. It really sucks. You know, when we first opened, our first couple of years, I mean, we could have filed bankruptcy over and over and over again because there just was no relief, and it sucks. And this is part of the reason why I've written my books and done so much education on the restaurant business and operations, is because I was there. I was there. I lost our house, um, lost our car repossessed one time. Got it back. We paid the payment money we didn't really have to get it back. Missed two payments, and it sucks to be in that situation. And I like helping people see that there's other ways to do this. And like I tell you, a lot of us restaurant owners, a lot of you restaurant owners are extremely stubborn. You're willing to go down. Um, you're willing to go bankrupt. You're willing to lose everything without taking any advice from people who have turned it around, know what they're doing, have had some success in the industry, and are willing to help you, or go online to YouTube and grab some free videos and start looking at stuff. You know, a lot of chefs, a lot of restaurateurs, they're stubborn in this aspect that their food is the best, their restaurant's the best, and they make excuses of why their restaurant's failing. Well, it's my location. Well, I couldn't get enough help. Oh, well, the food cost is too high, and this and this and this. There are a lot of very, very successful restaurateurs in the same situation as you, as those people that are making it work. All right. I struggled for the first 4 or 5 years, struggled beyond belief. I knew what I was doing, but I kept getting advice. I kept reading books. I kept getting inspired. I kept following Tony Robbins stuff. I kept doing visionary things. I stood in my restaurant in the mornings when nobody was in there, and knew that I was failing at this, right? I hadn't failed yet because I didn't give up. And I would stand there and close my eyes and imagine a busy restaurant, everything flowing, and imagine how I wanted it to flow. It didn't happen overnight, but it got to that point where that what I sat there and envisioned is what came true. And so I did that. I read books. I joined a mastermind group. I did as much as I possibly could. Now, when we first opened in 2003, there was no YouTube going on and grabbing videos. It was a matter of subscribing to people that were charging $50 for restaurant operation newsletters that were like, a small little pamphlet that came every month, and really jumping into magazines and reading and reading and reading. Times have totally changed nowadays. We just go on YouTube and search what you want, and there you go. So if you're thinking about entering the restaurant field, the restaurant industry, if you're thinking about opening a restaurant and you haven't had much experience, and you're wondering the same question, how much money does a restaurant make? You probably should be hiring people to help you along the way, to coach you, to guide you, to consult you, hiring people that understand this industry, that understand food costs, labor management, advertising, marketing. You should probably be consulting these people. We've all seen a lot of restaurants pop up. People have retired from one career and they're transitioning to another. They've come into some money, and before you know it, a year later they're closed, and it really sucks. I want to help as many of you as I possibly can, which is why I put up a lot of YouTube videos, which is why my 50 mistakes book right behind there is free. Just follow the link in this video down there, and you can get that book for free. Just pay a few bucks for shipping and handling. I was talking to a good friend of mine who owns tons of restaurants, very, very, very successful. And I showed him my book. I was very proud of it. He looked at me, goes, "Only 50 mistakes, Marcus?" He goes, "I could have written a book that had 250 mistakes." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. There's tons of mistakes." He goes, "It's just this whole thing's a learning process." And here's one of the most successful restaurateurs that I know, a very, very successful restaurateur. And he's so I could have written a book that had 250 mistakes. And he goes, "I wish I would have had somebody showing me and guiding me along the way to not make these mistakes." So super, super important. This is why I do these videos. I just want to help as many people. I buy a lot of books. You can see my books there, and I have lots of books all over there. My old office had all my books behind it. If you kept catching my older videos from 10 years ago or so, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, you'll see all the videos back there behind there, and you'll see me probably 20 pounds lighter in the videos. So I've read a lot of books. I've studied a lot. I've paid a lot to be in masterminds. I just want to share all that information. But as far as when it comes to operating a restaurant, it's not really the restaurant who's making money. It's the person who's running the restaurant. You can take the same situation restaurant and hand it to somebody else, and somebody else will make money as opposed to the person before them did not make any money with the same exact situation, the same name. I've seen this happen before too. People give up and they're like, I just want to get rid of this headache. I can't make money here. And they hand their restaurant off to somebody who walks in, just takes it over, literally takes over the same bank account, takes over everything. And a year later, they're like, I've got this great successful restaurant here that was just handed to me because the person before me couldn't make it work. All right. So you found this concept. It's not really the restaurant itself. It's the operator of the restaurant who's going to make the difference. Now, the person who owned that restaurant prior could have easily called this person to consult for them and said, would you consult? And I'll give you 10% of the restaurant, 20%. I'll give you an equity stake if you can help me turn this restaurant around. And that is a very common thing that happens. And that person probably would have done it for 20% with no money walking in, but instead they walked in with no money and took over a restaurant and turned it very successful. So do not be afraid to ask for help, folks. Do not be afraid. He's ready to go for our RUN. Him and I hit the trails and all the time for an RUN. He's waiting patiently. He knows it's that time in the morning. His name is Barolo. Was one of my parents' dogs when my parents passed away. We inherited 2 dogs. 18-year-old Baxter's no longer with us. But Barolo is 8 years old. He's 8 or 9 years old and full of energy, and just he goes a lot of places with me. So then he's named after my favorite wine, Barolo. So we call him Barolo Vino is his nickname, Barolo Vino. And, yeah. So all right, folks. So as far as this restaurant thing, making money, get some advice. Even if you're in the restaurant industry already and you think you know what you're doing, read some books, get some advice, get my book for free. It's totally free there. And if you're a student in this industry and you want to open a restaurant, you need to get as much experience as you possibly can. You need to work at a restaurant and say to the owner, a successful restaurant, say to the owner, can I come volunteer and work in the office? Can I come volunteer and help you with marketing? Can I come volunteer and help you do this? A lot of you will go to school. You will pay big bucks to get a degree. But you won't go to a restaurant that's already successful and volunteer some of your time, which is free. You're not paying that person. I've had people that have come worked in my office over the years, not many, but a few, because they want to learn. They want to learn the backside of it, and they're not going to college to do that and pay for that. They're coming here and they're doing it for free, right? So they're not any money out of pocket. And I'll show them as much as they want. And I encourage every culinary student to do that. Just go learn, go volunteer, go learn. It's like going to graduate school, but you pay to graduate school. You don't pay for that. This is why staging is very popular. Staging is where you go work for free at a very great, nice restaurant. And I did that with Pierre Kaufman. I did it with Anton Mosman. I did it with Paul Galen. I just showed up and worked for free. And, and I can claim that, yeah, I cooked dinner for Princess Diana a month before she was killed, and the royal family used to come into Mosman's, the dining club. So and I got some really great experience by just showing up and working for free and volunteering, right? So, and I know I don't expect you to do that forever. But I did it for months on end. I did that because I was in a financial position where I could, and I got into debt doing it as well at a certain point. So you want to do all that kind of stuff before you go out and get all these bills and buy new fancy cars and buy a house and this and kind of stuff. You want to invest in yourself, and it's a great investment. So yeah, how much can restaurants make? Well, it's up to you. All right, everybody, have a great day. Go to restaurantgrowthsecretsuniversity.com for more great tips on how to run an amazing restaurant.